feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now.
Hi everyone, welcome. If you are new here and you're my previous subscriber, welcome back to Celestial's Chris Tarot. So for today's video, we're going to be focusing on whether or not will a Republican majority impeach President Biden when they retake the House in the midterms of 2020. Hypothetically, that's the question of today's video we're going to be exploring. So quickly before we do begin, I do want to say a few things. That this video is being live streamed on November 8th, 2021 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here are some quick disclaimers on your screen right now. Please note this video is just for entertainment purposes only and for education purposes only as well. We do talk about here hypothetical scenarios and the what if. And here are some other more. And at the end of today's video, we're going to have a pick a bell or a pick a tree reading a message for you guys from your spirit guides and what you need to know right now, as if you know what you really need to focus on going forward. So the main purpose of today's video, I wanted to really talk about Jim Jordan, the senator in the state of Ohio, I believe, or Kentucky. One of those states has specified that he planned to impeach or draft up the articles of impeachment against President Biden. I want to explore that. I have been thinking about doing a topic like this for quite a while, and I think this is the time to do it. So the first question that we're going to cover today, now these will all be timestamped in the description below in case you want to go to certain parts of today's video. We'll be covering, will President Biden be impeached? That's the first question. It will be followed up with the House majority, will they do it out of safety for their country or out of spite because of their predecessor being impeached twice? We also have here as well the question that will follow after that is, what will this abuse of impeachment power have on American democracy going forward? And then lastly, but not the least, we're going to cover, will it hold any actual weight or will it become a standard practice for each political party when a new president comes into office about just impeaching whoever is in office or power that they don't like? And so I think that would be a very important question that we're going to be discussing in today's video. So I do hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hi Doris, hi Second. Thank you all for coming today. I do appreciate it. So let's begin. I don't want to waste your time, so let's jump right into this. So the first question that we're going to cover in today's video, thank you all for you guys who have congratulated me on my first job in a very long time. So thank you for all that. If you guys need help, definitely recommend what I did was I went into a store. I applied, didn't hear anything back. I just went in and asked for an interview, and they gave me the job like that. So that's something you can do if you're not hearing anything from your employers or potential employers, so to speak, in case you're looking for a job. Will President Biden be impeached? Let's ask that. Okay. So right now, President Biden polls currently are standing at 38%. It's exactly where Donald Trump is currently at this point in time when he first started his presidency, right? 38%. So Biden is just as unpopular, if not more unpopular than Donald Trump. And so that is very interesting because right now Biden is in a weak position. But the difference between Trump and Biden is that it wasn't based on Trump policies or lack thereof. It was based on his character, his persona. President Biden doesn't have that. He has where people disapprove of him because of the policies and the lack of policies that he's handling and doing. So let's find out. Okay, so the reason why I'm covering today's video this specific topic is because of this reading. All of you guys know, if you are new here, I am documenting. I'm doing every week. I actually making a homemade tarot deck specifically designed for this, so I'll be customizing it very soon. But as you see here, from November 3rd, from April 2021, all the way to August 2021, it was a Democratic victory in the House of Representatives. Since September 2021 and October, which was recently taken, show a Republican victory in both the House of Representatives and in the United States Senate. I'll show you the data for the Senate right now. And I think this is very important that we discuss this because they're threatening him right now. They're saying that well, it's President Biden is this is the popular vote. Now here we say that the popular vote is leading for the Democrats, right? But the reason why it's so important is that if they have both the House and the Senate, they're more likely to impeach Biden just to infringe on his what's the best way to put it? To infringe on what possibilities that could occur. So if you look here on the screen right now, we have the Democrats leading from majority up until August, and then it switches. And the reason for this is in the Senate, we also have President Biden's handling of Afghanistan, which is where his disapproval really comes from. Most independents disapprove of it, and 38% is exactly the main number of supporters, people who are registered Democrats in the United States. If he drops below 38%, that means he's losing political support from his own political party. So we have the Queen of Cups, right? We have the Democratic Party. This is my Nancy Pelosi card. This is her maintaining control in the House of Representatives. In this hypothetical scenario, based on what we're seeing here tonight, is that this is showing me a Republican majority, right? With a Republican majority, we have Nancy Pelosi losing in the midterms. We have Kevin McCarthy, which is shown in the two wands here that he is kind of brought out. He's looking ahead for his political endeavors. He's looking for the short way into the Republican nomination potentially for president. That is his main goal. We have here underneath this 9 of wands here, which is the card that represents President Biden's weak approval numbers, right? His weak political standing among the American public. We have here as well as his lack of ability to be able to get a lot of promises done, and a lot of Americans want promises delivered. The reason why Obama has faced so many difficulties is because of the Republican blockading him from passing any sort of major legislation besides healthcare. And because of that, it had harmed the Democratic Party because it made them seem inability to be able to stand with a thick skull or a thick skeleton to talk back and take back the power. Instead, they gave it willingly to the Republicans. In this case, Biden kind of doing the same. People are seeing him as another Obama, some guy who they thought was going to change things and just gave them empty promises. And it's not Biden's fault, it's the people at power, but still, again, American people will always blame the person in power as they are the hierarchy, or the well-known figure, so to speak. So we have the Hazel story, right? With this new power, this new Republican power, right? It's showing a brand new type of leadership leading for America. And what's it just telling me here is that the people who have won and retook the House, this is also telling me they retook the Senate as well. And the reason why they're taking both houses are going to be very detrimental for any sort of legislation for President Biden to pass forward, was going to put him as a lame duck president, which means the president who can't get any sort of major legislation passed for his own political party. We have here in the future, though, we have the 5 of Pentacles, and it's telling me here that whether or not President Biden will be impeached, right? And we also have here the King of Swords. Okay. And I say this very lightly. I never got these cards for President Trump. Okay? And I say this very lightly with a light heart, okay? Now, don't crucify me. I'm telling you exactly as I read it. This tells me here that President Biden will be, if they were to vote on an impeachment, President Biden will most likely, more than 55% possibility out of 45%, likely chance he will lose his presidency before the end of his term, or first term thereof. And what's it is telling me here, if you look here, we have the 5 of Pentacles, right? Him leaving. And this is my card for the incumbency, right? And when it's upright, the incumbent president is still in office. But when it's reversed, it tells me he's out of office. Now, this could be a multitude of things. This could be that President Biden can't deal with the stress anymore and that he leaves and Kamala Harris takes over, and therefore the impeachment trial is annulled, and therefore it no longer stands because the president is no longer in power. This could mean that President Biden loses in the 2024 presidential election, and therefore there is no reason to go forward with the impeachment trial. So there's a multitude of things that could possibly happen with these cards. But as of right now, it tells me here that impeachment is very likely. At least this is where the goal is. This could be the mindset of the Republican Party wanted to remove President Biden. It doesn't mean that he's going to be removed. It could be the energy. That's where it is at. At the bottom of the deck here, we have the Hierophant in reverse. And this is all about the government, the control, the way things are the traditional. And what is it going to show that if President Biden was to be impeached or was to be removed in some way or some fashion, it's going to show to American people, even to the people in political power who have their heart in the right place, are going to show that the party is lost, the country is gone, and that now it's all about American democracy versus what's to come. That's what this is going to turn out into. It's no longer about two political parties fighting over one another. It's now the death of America that is occurring as we head forward into the next season. So that is what I'm seeing. So let's jump into our next question today, which is a little bit more lighter, I hope. With the half majority, will they do it out of safety for the country or out of spite because the last president was impeached? So let's take a look. So Spirit Angels tell me, if the Republicans have the majority and they impeach President Biden or bring forth the article of impeachment trials against President Biden, is this going to be out of spite or is this because they actually found genuine evidence that should be investigated on the Biden's campaign? Okay. Okay. Here's what's happening. So there's a multitude of stuff here. A lot of information is going to be misinformation that's going to be spreading about President Biden. Biden's horrible when it comes to handling misspread information. Biden's probably the worst president to do that. The reason why I say that is President Biden does not handle misinformation well. For example, he allows people to misspread information about him and his policies, therefore hindering his ability to get that thing done. That's what's happening. This is what I'm seeing here as well. That Biden thinks it's a joke. That he kind of in that old mindset of where he doesn't realize the power that these misinformation really have on his presidency. Right. So we have here is we have the page of source in reverse, and this is the Biden campaign, the administration. Now this will be a great way for the Republican Party to divert energy away from things that Biden could be focusing on and focusing more on the impeachment charge that he's trying to defend President Biden. And what this is going to do for the Republican Party, that they're going to be able to make President Biden appear and look as if he's not focusing on the American people and that he's focusing on himself. The Republicans are going to run this and twist it in favor of them. And Biden's going to fall right into the trap. We have here as well, we have the ton of stories here. Misinformation being spread about Biden, a potential investigation that's going to open up, that's going to lead to nowhere. And the reason why this is going to lead to nowhere because it doesn't actually it's just the information is fabricated completely. But therefore, Biden, like I said earlier, is not going to stop the information, he's going to allow the information to flow, which is going to hurt him even more. Because now when people go and vote, they're going to think about this, even though it never existed, it never happened, right? No matter how many times he's acquitted, it still wouldn't have the same effect like Trump does. We have the moon card. This is Scorpio energy. What this tells me is that hidden endeavors, hidden intention, and that we don't really know what's going to come. But what I can tell you is that this is President Biden, right? He's the moon, he's the sun, right? He's both the good and the bad in America. And you see here, we have both two political parties fighting over one another, but they're barking at him. And so with the Scorpio, which is the hidden energy moving in, and you see this division of cracking between the two political parties. What this is going to do is going to be a partisan division, a partisan divide. And it's going to be focusing on something with like chemicals, like some sort of material potentially made in nuclear warfare or nuclear heads or something. But I'm seeing nuclear power plants here. So it could be also with climate change. Maybe they might get them on climate change or something, or they might make something up. That would be very detrimental. I'm also seeing here as well as fall time specifically. I'm focusing very heavily on the fall. So potentially next year or the following year after that they're going to try to do this. I'm seeing somewhere closer to the next presidential election. We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of Cups reversed. And what's it just telling me that even though they're going to try their hardest to impeach President Biden, he will not be impeached in terms of being removed from office. However, if they impeach him in the House, does not mean he's fully removed from office until it has 65 senators voting in favor. So even if they do this, it's still not going to pass for President Biden. But it does feel like it's in some way or some form this is going to have a very detrimental effect on President Biden. And yes, I do see here that they're doing it out of spite and spreading misinformation. So no, they're not trying to do this just because they're trying to do the benefit of the country. They're doing it because their predecessor, their leader, was impeached twice, and so they want to get back at the Democrats. Okay, so the next question that we're going to cover today is, what would this abuse of impeachment power have on American democracy going forward? Okay, so we have here the moon card again. The moon card's coming up, right? Hidden images, hidden democracies, right? Hope. Okay, so what this is going to do is going to be very detrimental, and that's what I'm seeing here. It's going to be very detrimental for the American presidency going forward. What we have here is we have the picture cut. This is President Biden, his type hyper energy, very 90 Democrat type energy, Bill Clinton type energy, right? And that is that this type of Democrat, but this White House is no longer functioning the way that it should be. And with this abuse of power, no Democrat, regardless of political party, is going to be able to properly function with an impeachment trial hanging on their heads just because of their own political party. That's a party affiliation discrimination, so to speak, right? And we have these 5 cups. We have 3 cups spilled over, and we have 2 still standing. What this feels like is if I'm going to be 100% correctly here, and it feels like these 2 either multitude, this could be meaning 3 presidents in the last couple of decades have been impeached for something, or this could mean that these 2 that were filled over here with President Trump, and then 1 that tipped over is President Biden, and then we have 2 more. And the question is that remains is, what does that mean? What does the cup mean? Do they mean the last 3 presidents that have been impeached, or does this mean and specify that these 2 cups specify Donald Trump being impeached twice, but it's considered 2 separate cups? And so there is very interesting here that there's a potentiality here that there will be a shadow that's going to be held onto the presidency. The power is no longer going to be there anymore. Like, there is no power. It almost feels like it's all completely stripped from the federal government. We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of swords reversed. And it tells me here that this is going to allow people to steal power away from the presidency. Steal power. But what this is going to do is going to backfire on the plan. Whoever is planning this impeachment trial of abusing this power is going to backfire. Because what it's going to do is going to strip all the power from the presidency, which therefore means the presidency is useless. So at this point, who exactly are you able to get power from? Because you stripped all the power away. And so that's the question that remains, is that it's not going to work in their favor. However, we do have a hope, though. We do have a hope, a Knight of Cups. And I am seeing that there's going to be some sort of restriction, a new idea, a new invention that's going to be created from this chaos that comes from abuse of power when it comes to the impeachment trial. Potentially, there could be an impeachment trial against the Congress or the Senate that's abusing their own power at their own will, but executed from the federal government level, like from the executive office. So that'll be interesting to see how that will play out. Now, if you guys do have any questions or recommendations at the end of today's video, or please put them in the live chat, or please feel free to put them in the end of the video when the video is over, of course, whenever you want to put them in, because I am starting to run out of topic ideas to cover on the channel, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you could do just that. Okay. Excuse me. Will it hold any actual weight, or will it become a standard practice for each political party when a new president comes in? We're just going to take a quick view whether or not their abuse of power when it comes to the impeachment trial will just be the standard status quo. That's just something that is expected, not something that actually holds any political weight. We have the high priestess here, the good and evil. It was intended for good, but it's used for bad. What I can tell you, though, is Kevin McCarthy, or whoever is the majority leader for the Republicans in the House, is going to start the articles of impeachment. But what I can tell you here is that there's going to be 3 times it's enough. That's what I'm hearing, 3 times it's enough. We have here the 4th time, it's going to fail. So whoever is doing this 4th time for the impeachment trial is going to fail. And because of that, there's going to be a new legislation that's going to be passed. So yes, I do feel like it's going to become the status quo, but people are going to get sick and tired of it, and something's going to change. And here we have it: 2 presidents being impeached in less than a decade, and time needs to change. And so we're going to look towards the future on how to fix this, because it's clearly abuse of power. So that is what I'm seeing for that. All right, so I just want to quickly tell you before you do your little pick a card reading. I do want to let you know that today at 9:45, probably most likely early. I'm going to move it up earlier. Probably around 9:10. Make it 9:10 Eastern Standard Time. I will be covering Kyle Rittenhouse, who is the murderer in Sokoa, Wisconsin during the Black Lives Matter, who started shooting. He was a teenager at the time, started shooting people who were protesting for Black Lives Matter. When I was looking at his photo, I've been meaning to cover this for a very long time, but never really did and got around to it. Now I am today. I've been feeling the energy of serial killer vibes, so we're going to look at that today. America has the leading number of serial killers across the world, so that'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. So definitely join in and you'll be interested. Okay, so we have your little messages today. So let's see what message comes out. Listeners will tell me what message you want my viewers to know. Okay, so we have a red jingle bell, and we're going to have a Christmas tree. So now what you're going to do is that there may be a lot of messages inside these little cards. So what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, for example, and I want you to kind of see, to ask your guides, what do I need to know right now? And just let your energy or energy color go to one of these, right? We have the tree and we have the bell. And whatever color you see first in your head is the color that you are meant to hear the message from. So if you need more time, you can pause the video, but we're going to begin. So right now it looks as if we're going to have a lot of messages, and I have a feeling already that a lot of these messages were in the last video, or at least some of them were. So that's what's in the house. Let's do the house first. Okay, so here it is. So if you pick the tree, if you pick the tree, you have 4 different messages. Now you can pick all 4 of them and say that this is for me, or you can kind of ask your spirit guide to kind of guide you to what one is yours. So you can kind of ask the question to your spirit guide and see if you get an answer. Now most of these don't require me to do a tarot reading for you. Most of them are pretty direct and very informative. And for those of you guys who have chosen the red bell, this will be your message as well. I'll give you a moment. Same thing applies. Okay, so if you've chosen this one, number 1, you have here is for the answer is you are exactly where you are meant to be. Right? That's a very interesting. I don't think I need to go on that. I feel like you'll know exactly whatever comes in your mind first, but that is exactly where you are meant to be. Now, if you pick the number 2 one, this is your message. You have here, oh, I can't read that. Oops, it's upside down, excuse me. Okay, so what does it say? So if you don't know where you want to go, then it doesn't matter what path you take. Alex in the Wonderland. I feel like for some of you guys, this has to do with medical decision. Like you're making a decision on medical. For some reason, I don't know. I feel like maybe that's for some of you guys that may apply. If you've chosen the 3rd one, think of this like fortune cookies. Okay, so if you have the 3rd message here, you are worth more than your darkness. So if you feel like you've been having dark thoughts or you're being very depressive or whether or not you should even be here anymore, your spirit guides are telling you that you are worth a lot more than your darkness, right? But if you guys who have chosen the tree and you've chosen number 3, this is your message. Don't wait for someone to give you advice. Tell yourself what you need to hear right now. So basically what I want you to do is just close your eyes and tell yourself, what exactly do I need to hear right now? And whatever the first thing it is that your mind goes to, or whatever your mind tells you, is what you need to focus on. Okay, for those of you guys who have chosen these, you've chosen the bell, the red color. For number 1, this is your message. Be reflective of what you like to receive. If you want love, give love. If you want truth, be truthful. If you want respect, give respect. So basically what it's telling you is that what you want, you must be able to give back. You must be able to act as if you want that. For example, if this is a great way for manifestation, if you want to be rich, you have to act and have the mindset of being rich. If you want to be able to be healthy and, you know, have a good body, basically, you need to be able to have that mindset. This is all about creating your perfect mindset for the condition that you want. So, in order, part of manifestation is you need to set the desire for what you want and be able to think it, create the mindset so when the time is right, it shall happen. That's what you're doing. And for those of you guys who have chosen the last one, this is your message. Sometimes the wrong train could take you in the right direction. Lunchbox. I feel like this message was a really important one because it highlights here that sometimes, things may be going in the wrong direction. You may not understand why things are happening the way they are. But when the time is right, all things will be explained in due time. I feel like in this case, for some of you guys, this applies for a lot of you. That things may be going crazy, but we could be going in the right direction. And this could be a message for us when it comes to talking about America. And we talk about this darkness that we speak of all the time. Potentially, maybe taking a dark turn could really be leading us in the right way. Look at Germany, for example. Germany went from a lot of darkness to being one of the world's power and leader in technology and information and stuff like that. And people have never been happier, actually, in Germany. So, there's that. I hope you guys enjoyed today's message. I hope you find it to be informative and enlightening. I love you all so much. I'll see you guys later today at 9:15 p.m. We'll be covering the next serial killer, Kyle Rittenhouse. I'll see you guys shortly. Bye.